I walk through the shadow of death left to fear. This is a journey through the halls of hell.
Yes people, what is good? I am BA, and today's movie I want to talk about is Weapons. Now Weapons only came out recently, so I don't usually talk about things that are fresh in popular culture, but I did happen to see this as soon as it came out because I was a big fan of the director's previous movie Barbarian, which I have reacted to on this channel, you can check out. And I never saw the trailer for Weapons beforehand, but I heard the premise and I was instantly gripped by it. And in a nutshell, a teacher who has only been going to a school for a month goes into a classroom one day and there is only one kid from her class there, and overnight all the other kids all left their houses at a certain time and ran into the darkness, and they've never been seen again. And the film starts with the direct aftermath of this event, so you've got a grieving community, all the parents of the town, missing and wondering what happened to their children, demonising this teacher and assuming that in some way she's responsible for this. Other people think it was the lone child that remains in the class is in some way responsible, and just nobody has any idea what happened. So the first segment we get, we're following this teacher. And that's the other interesting thing about this film, by the way. It kind of feels like there's no protagonist. If I had to pick one, I guess it would be this teacher, but we follow a few characters for what feels like an equal amount of time. So to me, this is kind of a protagonistless film. And I'm gonna be very spoiler free in this review because I do know that this movie is fresh out, but we're following this teacher, and for example, one night she just wants to talk to the other boy who survived because, you know, they've been through the same thing and both of them don't know what happened. And she's sitting outside the boy's house in her car, and we see someone sneak into her car while she's sleeping and snip a lock of her hair off. Later on in the film, she's trying to fuel petrol up at her pump and she gets attacked by a random rabid crazy guy. So yeah, the movie drips us these strange events, and then just when her story's getting interesting, we switch to another character, the police officer character, who she's been sleeping with, and we follow him for a bit, and he has an interaction with a guy who's been taking heroin and he accidentally stabs himself in the finger with the needle while he's searching the guy's pockets. We then follow the heroin addict who he was searching for a bit, and by the heroin addict breaking and entering into various properties, he himself helps uncover the mystery a little bit accidentally. So we follow these 4 or 5 characters all while progressing the story, and after some time you start to put together these clues and the things you see, and you get a grasp of exactly what's happening. This movie doesn't spoon feed you any silly dialogue, just plainly explaining exactly the technicalities behind what's going on, but you get the gist of it. And I don't mind when movies create something that they don't need to fully explain. It's fine, have a strange thing with no backstory to it, as long as it's interesting. I'm not going to penalise the film for not going into scientific detail about how it was possible. Now that might sound like random gibberish if you haven't seen the film, but if you have seen the film, you'll know what I'm talking about. And when the villain is revealed, I love the character design. I feel like it's instantly memorable. I like how the villain has clear motivations for the reasoning behind it. And unlike a lot of horrors which struggle with their third act from being generic, I found myself gripped to this movie from beginning to end. Now I will say, the person that I watched this with thought it was only okay, and I was surprised because as soon as I'd watched it I wanted to learn more about it, but yeah, my friend wasn't that impressed. I did show it to 2 other people after that though, and they both absolutely loved it. So yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, do yourself a favour and go and check out Weapons. It's a brilliant little horror mystery movie and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And until next time, if you've liked this video, click like, subscribe, comment down below, come over to the Patreon and help join me personally. I've been BA, peace.